So a few weeks ago on the show, I sat down and went through the Oscar nominations and gave my predictions. Now for me, this time of year is special. This is like my Super Bowl. This is the moment where a full year of work, directing, acting, editing, writing, cinematography, all of it comes together and the industry stops for a night to celebrate the craft. And I know the Oscars get a lot of criticism. People say they don't matter, they're political, and they miss things. Sometimes they do. But as someone who's been making films and working in this industry for a long time, I still love this moment. I love seeing filmmakers get recognized. I love seeing performances celebrated. I love seeing the work honored. So in the previous episode, I went category by category, tried to read the momentum, and talked about what the Academy usually tends to reward. Well, Sunday night, the show aired, history was written, and now we get to do the fun part, looking back at my predictions and figuring out what I got right and what the Academy decided to do instead. Because award season is always a mix of film analysis, industry politics, and every once in a while, a surprise that nobody saw coming. So I'm going to do this one a little bit differently, a little bit more off the cuff, but it should be fun. So let's go through it. Thanks for joining me on And Another Thing. So before I begin, I just want to say that 2025 was one of the best years for film. I know I've said that before, did a whole podcast on it before, and I was right because the films here were amazing. A lot of directors taking chances, a lot of small character-driven films, a lot of original IPs. I mean, it was just a great year for film, and they were entertaining, they were inspiring, they were culturally significant. It was just a really big year, and I really appreciate 2025, and thank you, 2025. And let's see, what I got right when it came to the Oscars. So let's start with visual effects. In my nomination episode, I said Avatar Fire and Ash was the obvious winner. I said James Cameron doing James Cameron things, building worlds nobody else can touch. And it's a pretty obvious choice. Of course, Fire and Ash won, but there was no disrespect to the other films. It's Avatar, it's next level. Cameron's always going to take it to the next level. He has the technology to do it. He has the vision to do it. So if you're going up against him, chances are you're going to lose. But it was no matter how you felt about the film, it was visually. I mean, there's really not much you can actually compare it to. So, not a stretch there, but still a film that I picked. Okay, so let's go to the next category here. The next category is Best Sound. I predicted F1 would take this, and F1 took it. F1 was the winner of the Oscar for Best Sound because the sound design actually puts you inside the car. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of immersive filmmaking the sound branch really likes to reward. And it was as if you were watching and experiencing up close an F1 race, and you were hearing all types of sounds coming from everywhere. And it was really interactive, and it really made you feel like you were part of the action when they were driving the cars. So it landed. That one was kind of an easy pick as well. So the next category was Best Song, which was an interesting one. I personally liked I Lied to You from Sinners. And if you watched the show, you saw the performance, which was amazing to see, all of these people kind of come together and kind of recreate the juke joint scene. And they did a really good job with it. And it was great seeing Brittany Howard up there, Misty Copeland, Buddy Guy's on the stage, Raphael Sadiq is there. The couple of actresses from the actual film were performing on stage as well. Remick and his team, his crew tried to get on stage and they were blocked. Like, I just loved all of the nuances of that performance, and probably watched it like 5 times already and probably watch it 5 times more this week. I thought it was really good, and it was really inspiring. It was really creative. But with that said, I said the Academy would probably give it to Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters because that song basically dominated the year culturally. And sometimes the Oscar likes to follow momentum. And the song obviously it was really good, and it really kind of it shaped the film. It really was. It encompassed actually the film itself, and so even though I lied to you. I did pick K-pop Demon Hunter. So far, I guess we're 3 for 3 here. I will say on a side note, man, I hate it what happened to the award winners that they had to play the music over them, and it really was. It was a really uncomfortable moment. I definitely think they are owed an apology. I hope the Academy will give them one, and we got to really figure out how to kind of get this thing going because when things like that happen, it really kind of takes away from the moment. I don't know if it's something we need to fix on the winner side or something that needs to be fixed on the Oscar side. But I don't know. Didn't like it. Didn't feel too good. But congratulations to them. They created a great song that went along with a great movie, K-pop Demon Hunters. Okay, moving on. Best International Feature. My pick was Sentimental Value, and the best international feature was Sentimental Value. I picked it because, like I said, historically, the Academy often gives international films recognition when they don't end up winning Best Picture. So if you're in the Best Picture category as an international film, chances are you're going to win in that category. Now, of course, this year you had Sentimental Value, and you had The Secret Agent, which I personally really did enjoy Secret Agent, but Sentimental Value was a really good, really strong film. And of course, they would win the Oscar for Best International Feature because, as we know, they were never going to win the Best Picture award. So, but really, congratulations to them. Stellan Skarsgård is, the guy is just amazing. If you don't believe me, watch Andor. Andor was amazing. But also just watch this film. It was a really good film. So they won Best International Feature. And I was right. Again. So, let's move on. Film editing. Let's see, this one I was really confident with. I will admit, as a editor myself with thousands of hours of editing, I usually get this one right. But this time I got it wrong. This time I thought F1 would win because the editing had to juggle a lot of the racing sequences, the pacing, and the narrative moments, and kind of package that all together to keep the film going and keep it very interesting. But the Academy gave it to One Battle After Another. But I guess I can give myself a half point because I also said that One Battle After Another could sneak in because of that incredible chase sequence in the California hills. It was amazing. No matter how you feel about the film, I'm just talking about that sequence in itself. It was a really good sequence. And yeah, it went for best editing and it really worked. So got that one wrong, but I'm going to give myself a half point because I figured if it wasn't F1, it would be One Battle After Another. Best Director. This was the category where I kind of put more of my heart and emotions on the table here because I wanted Ryan Coogler to win this award so bad. I thought he did an amazing job in Sinners. I thought the juke joint scene was not only very original and very creative, it just took so much ambition, so many layers in this film, just world building in itself. I thought he did an amazing job. And of course, personally, I would have loved for an African American to win for Best Director and the entire 98 year of the Academy Awards. There's been no African American who's won Best Director. And I do think that's a crime. I think it has been earned. I would have loved to have seen it. But I also said, and I had to acknowledge that the Academy might give it to Paul Thomas Anderson as kind of like a career recognition moment. But I also will say, since I did that last podcast and having watched these films again, I mean, PTA, man, he did a great job. I mean, like I said, once again, I'm not trying to talk about how people felt exactly about the movie. I'm just looking at it from a directing standpoint. Um, PTA, just first of all, having those powerhouses together, and Sean Penn, DiCaprio, and Benicio del Toro, and then having them really be able to play well off of each other and play well with the script and be able to, I don't know, just really keep the story moving. One thing that I really picked up on kind of watching it the second time was like once that film got moving, once they were, I guess, pretty much was on a run, like it never stopped. And the pacing was just amazing. And it never stopped. And for a director to be able to keep that going and hit all of the points that he needed to hit, I mean, you have to give PTA props for that. So I would have loved Ryan Coogler, but I'm not mad at PTA for winning as well. Congratulations to him for finally getting it. Should have gotten it for There Will Be Blood, but that's a whole nother conversation. So congratulations, PTA. I guess I can say I got that one wrong, but I figured if it didn't go to Coogler, it'd go to PTA, and I guess that's not a stretch. So, I won't push it. I guess I got that one wrong. And next we have Best Supporting Actor. Now, when I originally did the predictions, I predicted Delroy Lindo because I felt his performance carried a lot of emotional weight, a lot of humor, and a lot of the narrative which helped push the direction of the story along. Delroy did not win. It was Sean Penn. But once again, maybe I give myself a half point because I also said Sean Penn could sneak in because of how memorable his character was. And like I said, once again, watching the film for maybe, I guess, a third time, I mean, Sean Penn was really good. Take away how you feel about him personally. Look at his performance. Look at how he affected the film and what he was able to do with that character. And yeah, he earned it. He earned it. And there's no disrespect to Delroy Lindo. I know there's a lot of people calling out saying he was robbed, all of these things. I don't agree with that. I just believe in this case, Sean Penn just did a little bit more and had more of a heavier effect on the film that he was in compared to, say, Delroy Lindo. And then even if you look at Stellan Skarsgård for sentimental value, I mean, he was amazing as well. And you have to look at, when it comes to supporting characters, not only the performance, but how they affected the film, how their characters affected the film. And when you go through even just the history of the winners of supporting actors, you'll probably start to see it for yourself. That little nuance, that change that gives them the edge for winning that category. And Sean Penn did that. And so, like I said, no matter how you feel about him personally, because I know a lot of people were upset that he wasn't there. A lot of people are calling out things from his past. I'm not really going to talk about all of that. I'm simply going to say, for this film, one battle after another, he was really, really good. And winning the Oscar, to me, wasn't a surprise. But I would have liked Delroy. I thought the Academy was going to lean a little bit more towards Delroy, but I can completely understand why Sean Penn won. And he deserved it. Moving on to Best Supporting Actress. Now, for this one, I was very confident. I thought Tiana Taylor, but things changed. And then in between the time I did this, the episode, I believe Tiana won the Golden Globe. But then after that, Amy Madigan won the SAG, and her buzz was really, really, really picking up. And so Amy Madigan won the Oscar for Weapons, not Tiana Taylor. And I think that's great. That's great. That's fine. It works. Amy Madigan clearly was the best thing about that film. No disrespect to Weapons. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it wasn't bad either. And I thought Amy was amazing in it. And yeah, not disappointed in that pick. I really thought, Tiana was going to carry that momentum into getting that award. Maybe the Academy just thought, hey, you know what? She has more time. She can get another one. Not sure what the, I guess, qualifications was, but once again, like Sean Penn with Amy, can't deny a great performance and how they affected the film. I mean, I think she did so well. They're actually writing a kind of a prequel for her character. Don't quote me on that, but if you look for it, I'm sure you'll find it. And she did it. So Tiana has a lot of time. Tiana is very talented. She's kind of like this is her arrival film. So I'm pretty sure she has a lot more coming down the pipe. So, but for tonight, it was Amy Madigan. I was wrong, and that's okay. All right, moving on. Let's see. All right, moving on. So we have lead actress. I predicted Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. There was no one else to even consider. She was gonna win. She needed to win. She was amazing. She was phenomenal. Any other adjective you could think of, that's what she was. She basically carried the emotional weight of the entire film. The final sequence in itself, where the Hamlet play was on stage and she's in the front row and she's watching this all play out. I mean, that performance alone just nailed it. It just nailed it. And of course, Chloe and how she directed it. Jessie was the clear and obvious choice here. I don't think it was a stretch. Yeah, I got it right, but I'm pretty sure most people who saw that film got it right as well. There was no one else that could compare. So, congratulations to her. I think it was a big win, and she also has a very bright future, and I'll be looking out for more of her work as well. All right, next up we have the lead actor. So this one, I call for Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. I said not because he was necessarily the flashiest performance, but because the Academy loves the narrative of a young actor finally getting his moment after multiple nominations. Now, at that time, definitely thought it was going to be Marty, but it was nothing against Michael B. Jordan's performance, because I thought his performance was also amazing. I thought he was able to do a lot, but I just kind of felt like with Timothée Chalamet basically on his third nomination in a row, I thought this was going to be the moment that they say, hey, here you go. Now, since that time, I've learned all voting wasn't closed, and some of his comments that he made weren't great. His campaign for the movie wasn't great. Do I think that affected the voting? I'm not going to say that, because I think if you use that as an excuse, then that takes away from the great performance that Michael B. Jordan did. And I don't think you can deny his performance in Sinners. And it was really a coming out moment for Michael B. Jordan, showing that he is one of the top talents that's out there today. He is an A-lister, and he killed it. But did I still think it would be Timothée Chalamet? I did. Am I happy and surprised that it was Michael B. Jordan? Absolutely. I mean, full disclosure, during his speech, I even got some tears in my eyes, because it was a great moment. It was great to see him share that with his mother, his father from Ghana, with Ryan Coogler, and just the whole team and the whole crew. It was just, it was beautiful all around. So I'm really happy for Michael, and just congratulations, man. I mean, you're it now. You're that guy. And so he has a lot of good films coming out. Thomas Crown Affair, I Am Legend 2. He's going to be around for a long time, and I think we're all the better for it. So congratulations to him. So let me throw another category in there, the screenplay categories. When it came to best adapted screenplay, I was wrong on that end. I thought it would go to Hamnet, but it went to One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson, which is cool. I don't really have much to say about that one with the adapted side. I thought the screenplay for Hamlet was actually really really strong. I think that's one of the pieces that actually carried the film. But one battle after another, that was pretty good too. So don't really have much in the way of kind of critiquing that, but it was a big win for PTA, that's for sure. And so, yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I called for Hamnet. So, guess got that wrong. But when it came to best original screenplay, I was all in on Ryan Coogler, 100%. Knew he was going to win it. I knew that was going to be, I guess, the way, he wasn't going to win Best Director. We'll get to that in a moment. But I figured he was definitely going to walk with an Oscar that night. Best Screenplay. I mean, go back, read the screenplays. You can download them online now. It's a great read, and you'll understand why he won and why deservingly so. That was his Oscar from start to finish. And like I said, speaking of best directing, now when it came to best directing, I wanted Ryan Coogler. I really wanted Ryan Coogler, like I said before, because I really wanted just to see an African American filmmaker win that award. But time will come. The time will come. So finally, let's get to Best Picture. This is, of course, is the big one. 10 films in the category. In my prediction episode, I said the race was really between 4 films, which were Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. And my pick was Sinners. I thought Sinners was going to win Best Picture. I thought it dominated 2025. It was a very good film, a culturally significant film. I thought it had all the elements: directing, acting, writing, the editing, the cinematography. I thought all of it was peak. I actually thought that they were going to pull it out. I really did. But the Oscar went to One Battle After Another. I would actually love to see the percentages, because I feel like they would have been neck and neck, so close. I don't think there's a distance between the two at all. I think maybe 1 or 2 votes, something as simple as that could have pushed it over. But I'm not surprised that One Battle After Another won. But I really, really, really was rooting for Sinners. Sinners changed the game, man. Sinners changed the game. Sinners put a lot of filmmakers kind of on notice to step up their game, to come with some original ideas, to, just really be out there making things happen. And, shout out to Ryan Coogler again for that and what he was able to do with Warner Brothers. It's still surreal to know that Warner Brothers had so much success this award season, and they're getting sold off to Paramount. But that's a whole nother conversation that we'll have at another time. But Warner Brothers really was a big winner. But like I said, I thought it would be Sinners. I thought it was, like I said, the most complete film with the original story and the emotional impact and cultural impact. But it all went to One Battle After Another. Not sad, a little disappointed. But, like I said, One Battle After Another is a good film. You really can't deny it. There are people who absolutely hate it, and that's their right. But for me, as a filmmaker and as someone who looked at what was able to be done with this film, I can't deny it. So, One Battle After Another, Best Picture this year. So, now that the winners are out, what does this really tell us? For the biggest takeaway for the Academy for me is that they still kind of lean toward the director-driven storytelling. PTA definitely had a goal, he had an agenda. with this film, and his name just kind of, I think, also helped push it along. Like I said, it's a good movie. I'm not taking anything away from that, but I think it also, with him being PTA, it helped it a lot. You know, I think also the Academy showed that they're not really just into like kind of films of the moment, the spectacle films, the franchise filmmaking films. They want films with like a clear voice. Those films still resonate, and like after years of people saying how movies was dying, I think 2025 proved something important, is that the movie is good enough when the audience show up, and audience definitely showed up for Sinners. They showed up for F1, and a lot of other of these films in these categories. So I think Hollywood, yeah, kind of told the line a bit from before, but they also was able to push it. Listen, there was an article that came out earlier, that was written by, it was written from Slate magazine, Slate Online, in which they were really taking the time to look at the fact that Sinners was nominated for 16 Oscars, but only won 4. And the way it was worded and the way it was kind of put out there, and I'm not going to give them too much kind of advertisement, I thought it wasn't really done in fairness. First of all, 4 Oscars for an African American driven film is a great victory. But also, the 16 nominations are a great victory, and that's how the story should be told. You had some milestones with those victories by having Ludwig win his 3rd Oscar already. Autumn become the first woman to win an Oscar. Ryan Coogler, only the 2nd African American to win an Oscar for screenplay. Michael B. Jordan, only the 6th African American to win for Best Actor. So, I mean, Sinners is hands down, to me, still one of the most successful, if not the successful film of 2025. Not taking anything, of course, away again from PTA. I believe they won 6 awards, but it's not even in a comparison and contrast thing right about now. It's just more so like these were very successful films. I thought PTA said something phenomenal when he stood and said how in 1975 you had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you had Jaws, you had all of these great films in 1975. So there really wasn't, a best film. He was comparing 1975 to now and saying that, even though they had all these great films then, they have all these great films now. So you can't really call one like the best film. It's just that this film is the one that kind of won out. So, and I agree with that, because there was some amazing work, amazing work, and I'm glad PTA took the time to really kind of shout that out. So shout out to him. So, final thought, looking back at my predictions, I had some hits. Well, I had a lot of hits, but I had some misses. And that's part of the fun. That's the part of it. Like I said before, that's my Super Bowl. This is my Super Bowl, the Oscars. So I love just kind of being a part of it and just being able to, sit back and just watch and celebrate and share with my fellow filmmakers and people who have worked most of their lives to get to this point and be able to be recognized. And I think that's amazing. And the Oscars themselves are never really like the final word on movies. Some of these great films that won Best Picture probably won't even talk about in 2 years, but then there's other films that didn't win that you still talk about for the next 25 years. So it matters. The work really matters. And once again, 2025, great year for movies. And it just really showed that filmmakers are still pushing the genre and the medium forward. And the industry is now has to kind of readjust to kind of start to keep up, because not going away. They're not giving into AI. They're going to make some movies. They're going to make some good projects, and It's a beautiful thing. I'm very happy to see it, and yeah, I hope it continues. So really excited about what comes next. So those were my predictions. That was the Oscars. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast. If you have any questions or want to challenge me a little bit more on, what I picked and why, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share this video. I appreciate you all. Thanks for coming back and listening to And Another Thing. Take care.